You are live on channel 44,000. Please do not swear.
Oh, you have got to be kidding me. Hello guys, I'm Pickles Parker and today I will be giving you my review of the Doctor Who episode Bad Wolf. Enjoy!
That's impossible. They were destroyed.
Obviously they survived.
Who did? Who are they?
You are the weakest link.
You are live on channel 44,000. Please do not swear.
You have got to be kidding.
That's a compact laser deluxe. Where were you hiding that?
You really don't want to know.
I need security and I need it here right now!
What was that?
Just been evicted.
You lost!
Oh my god, you get executed for that?
Let him try.
Who's Bad Wolf?
We have a security problem.
Continue working.
Eviction in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
See, there are a few complications I need to go over regarding what this video means. Now, obviously, with my movie reviews, the last one was a month ago, and that Star Trek review hasn't come. I'm afraid you'll have to wait till after Christmas for that, because in the time frame that I have, and what I'm going to do, which I'll explain in a minute, I can't do this Star Trek review. So I hope the Thor Ragnarok and Justice League movie reactions were enough to substitute a movie review. But after Christmas, I will have the Star Trek review and the subsequent movie review out before the new year. Now, this episode review is part of phase 2 of my Doctor reviews. Obviously, the first phase was Rose, Score Union, Asylum of the Darks, and Extremis. But now it's time to wave 2, what I like to call the Regeneration Wave, which what I'm going to be reviewing every single modern Doctor regeneration story. And by the time I finish the Time of the Doctor, the 11th Doctor one, the next one I would be doing would be Twice Upon a Time, this year's Christmas special, the 12th Doctor's last regeneration story. So it should all work up to there. So I'm sorry that the Star Trek review hasn't formed, and you'll have to wait a bit long for that, but it is coming, and this is the first of the new regeneration wave that I shall be doing. So yeah, just a quick synopsis. So the Doctor finds himself in the Big Brother house, and he thinks it's just regular. He's like, why is he here, there? And then he finds out that when you get evicted, you're actually evicted from life and you're disintegrated. Rose is trapped in another cool game show, The Weakest Link, where she faces the android. Every time you're the weakest link, you get disintegrated. And Captain Jack finds out he's in a cool version of What Not to Wear, where they're trying to change his look up and cut off his head and manipulate him and try and turn him into a freak. So the Doctor forms a partnership with his housemate Linda with a Y, and he manages to break out because he breaks the property, which means that he must be evicted, but he's not evicted because he knows that whoever brought him there for a reason and wasn't gonna kill him. So he then escapes with Linda with a Y, meets up with Captain Jack, and they go rescue Rose from the Weakest Link. But he realised that he's actually the game station is actually Satellite 5, where he was in the long game quite a few years previous. and it's run by the Bad Wolf Corporation. Bad Wolf is the story arc throughout Series 1 that have been following them on their travels. 2 words. So they go to trying to stop Rose from dying, but she's disintegrated. The Doctor, Captain Jack and Linda are taken to a prison, but they break out. They go to the top floor to try and make them pay for what they did. Then they get the TARDIS back, and they realise that the disintegrator is not. It's a transmat beam, a secondary transmat beam, transporting the people who are evicted and disintegrated to somewhere else. And they discover that that is the Dalek ship, and that Rose is still alive. And then the Doctor shouts at the Daleks and tells Rose that she is going to be saved, and that is where the episode ends. So yeah, it's quite a good episode, this one, but I'll get more in depth into it in just a second. I have recently reviewed this before because I send in audio clips to the Big Blue Box podcast. If you don't listen to it, it's a brilliant podcast that you should listen to. But I had to quite recently, reviewed this 2-part of Bad Wolf and the Parting of the Ways, and I enjoyed it. I gave it an 8 out of 10. So obviously, I'm fairly reviewing this fairly recently after, so my opinions haven't really changed much. So I gave that an 8 out of 10, and yeah, it's a similar story this time, but this episode gives the long game a purpose, because the long game is my least favourite episode of Series 1, and one of my least favourite episodes of the modern series. It's just pointless, it's boring, nothing happens. But this actually gives a purpose for the long game to actually be there, because without the long game, you couldn't have this episode. There needs to be the long game there. So it gives the long game an actual purpose, because you have Satellite 5. What the Doctor does in the long game actually makes this cruel Earth what it is. So the long game, it gives the long game a purpose. It gives the long game a reason to be there. You know what? The main reasons this is praise, but also criticise, is the game shows. And I can kind of agree. Although it's a nice spin on some nice game shows, that it's quite funny to see killer versions of these game shows, I do agree with some of the criticism is they don't age well, meaning that the game shows that they have in this are very much not in fashion now. But I'm not sure if The Weakest Link is still on, and I'm pretty sure Big Brother is not what it used to be at all. I'm not even sure if that's going. I think it is still going, but obviously it moved from Channel 4 to Channel 5, and it's very much not what it was. Whereas you think of the game shows that are named in here were the ones that were popular at the time. So it does very make this episode feel a bit dated when you watch it, because the things that are in this episode are very much to the time, and they're not timeless. So when you watch this years later, as I am, and it very much feels not timeless, and it doesn't age the episode well. Although I do quite like the game show idea, I think it's something different that they haven't done in Doctor Who before. I can't argue that it doesn't age the episode that well, really. The death toll in this episode is quite high, compared to when you think the era that we're in now, that nobody really stays dead at all, not many people die. So it's nice to have quite a high death toll in this episode, preparing for the even bigger death toll in next week's episode. And a lot of people die, which is good. It brings a threat to the episode that you sometimes don't always get in Doctor Who nowadays, because nobody dies, you don't really feel a threat there. But yeah, people die in this episode, or you think they die, but well, they do die, as we find out next week. But yeah, they do die, which is good, because it gives a sense of a threat there. Now, this episode is called Bad Wolf, and it obviously brings full circle the Bad Wolf story arc that goes throughout Series 1. Bad Wolf is one of the best story arcs in the modern series. I think it's up there with the Harold Saxon story arc, and of Series 3, and the Cracking Time story arc that we got in Series 5. So I really do like this story arc, and everything culminates into this episode. You think there are a ton of really nice nods in different episodes. Obviously, the main one is The Long Game, but you have many different others that all culminate into this, and very much into the last, in next week's episode, loads of things are mentioned as well that all go. Obviously, The Long Game's the main one, but we have a lot of others, things that are referenced here and there, taken from other bits of the episode, which is really nice to see. Also, we get a reference of Torchwood, so the Series 2 story arc's beginning before the Series 1 one has even finished. But I really like how it culminates loads of different elements into the series. Very much like, again, the Harold Saxon Series 3 story arc and the Series 5 Cracking Time story arc do. I think that's what I like from a story arc, to feel like you didn't just have to watch the finale, it's been progressing in the other episodes, and it all goes into the finale. I very much like that with this a story arc, and this one does it very nicely. Episode is obviously, this is the first part of the finale, so it's the beginning of the end for Eccleston's Ninth Doctor, and it's a very good send-off for Eccleston. I think whereas the story, especially this first part, is more about the story arc and not necessarily building up to Eccleston's regeneration, like my favourite modern series regeneration story, The Time of the Doctor. I think it's nice to be more subtle, because nowadays, like, everything is building up. You think the end of time, The Time of the Doctor, even Twice Upon a Time, the episode's building up to it. But I think what you have here is the episode isn't building up to the regeneration. More important things are at stake here than the Doctor's death, or his regeneration. So, which I think is good, and I think it's really nice how it does it. Even though the regeneration stuff comes next week, I think it's really nice that you do slightly get a sense that they're not going to get out of it, yet there are more important things to talk about here, which I think is really good. And Eccleston acts his socks off in this episode, and it's a really good first part of a terrific send-off for Eccleston's Doctor. The direction by Joe Ahern and music by Murray Gold is absolutely fantastic in this episode. Really good direction and some really nice stuff there, and I really like the music by Murray Gold. Some really nice pieces in here that really also adds something to the episode, so really good. The idea of the Doctor creating this nightmare future by doing what he thought was right. So in The Long Game, he thinks he's saving the Earth, putting it back on track, but what he actually does is he just causes an even worse future when he gets to it. And I think it's really nice that he thinks it's terrible, and then when Linda with a Y is explaining all the terrible things, and the Doctor says, yeah, I did that. He thought it would make it better, but he's not. And he's essentially created all of the deaths are essentially on his head. Because if he hadn't have done all this, these game shows would have never have happened. So I really like that concept, that something in the past the Doctor did, he thinks he was doing it right, but he's actually caused an even worse future. It's not something we see that much, but I think it's really nice, and the Doctor's regret is really nice. Another brilliant performance by Eccleston. Talking about brilliant performances from Eccleston, I really like the scenes where obviously Rose dies, and the Doctor's reaction. You have like in the background you have Captain Jack shouting at the floor manager, but the Doctor's just silent. And then when they're in the prison and the guard's telling them about the sentence, and he asks the doctor a question. The doctor's just silent, and he says, "Just do it." And then they all break out, and Captain Jack pushes a few guards over and gets the gun. But then the doctor gets right stuck in, and he pushes the guard over as well and grabs his gun, which is something we don't usually see. But I think it's quite nice that the doctor's really fueled, and he's gonna go up there and tell these people what are they doing. They just killed his friend for entertainment. And I think it's a really good performance by Eccleston in these scenes. And despite it making it a bit out of character for the doctor to push over guards when he's in prison to grab the gun, I actually think it's really nice. It feels like the doctor is with anger, and he's going to do what it takes. Very much more so than what they tried to do in Hell-Bent with Peter Capaldi's doctor out for revenge. That was overdone very much, where he'd go whatever it takes to revive Clara. They really overdid that, but I think in this episode where he's going to go up there and tell them what they've done, I think it's really nice. It's subtle, but it's really good. Like I said, the silent bit where he's just silent, I think it is really good, top-notch acting from Eccleston, and a really good decision to do that from Rusty Davies. We have the Daleks reveal. And I really love the Daleks reveal to this. And Captain Jack's like, "No, I thought they were gone." And the doctor's like, "Well, obviously they survived." And I really like the Daleks. In this, I really like the way they're revealed and that they're all behind it. And I really like Eccleston's reaction to this. And he's shocked because he thought he wiped out all the Daleks. And he's realised now that despite committing genocide in the Time War to wipe out all the Daleks, he killed all his people, yet the Daleks are still there, meaning, really, he sacrificed the life of his people for nothing, because the Daleks are still alive, they're still here. And I really love his reaction to this. I love how the whole reveal is handled. I really love the cliffhanger as well, because usually we'd have the Daleks revealed, it was zoom on the Doctor's shot face and go to the credits. But no, it's not. We actually have the Doctor shouting to the Daleks and saying that what he's going to do, and it's a really good speech by Eccleston. I think it's really nice to have the Doctor telling them that he's going to come for them, and it's a really weird cliffhanger, because you think when the Daleks are revealed and it zooms on the Doctor's face, that's where it ends, but it doesn't. I think, despite it's not your average cliffhanger, I think it's nice that it's different, and it adds a bit there. That not that the Doctor's doomed, but the Doctor still has confidence that he is gonna get everybody out of it, which I really like. And also, I think the Next Time trailer, obviously after this episode you get the Next Time trailer, I think it's a really good, cool, epic Next Time trailer. Really making me want to watch The Partner of the Ways, which we'll be reviewing next week. Christopher Eccleston, who played the Ninth Doctor. Absolutely fantastic performance from Eccleston. Really good. He's really good at the dark, lumpy stuff, where he's first in the Big Brother Tower, to his reaction when he finds out that when they're evicted, they die, they don't just go out back to the outside world. So he's really grumpy. Then he goes into the comedy where he's trying to impress Linda, but then he goes really dark, like I said, in the prison. And his confrontation with the Daleks at the end as well is masterful. It's a brilliant performance from Eccleston for the first part of his final story, who obviously plays Rose. And she gives an overall decent performance, not one of her best. She does feel a bit Series 2, especially when she's playing in The Weakest Link and just laughing at people for getting the questions wrong. But yes, she gives an overall decent performance. Barrowman, who plays Captain Jack. It's not one of his best performances, but it is still very good, and he has a great chemistry with Eccleston, who plays Linda with a Y. And she's a nice little side character, and she's a pretty good chemistry with Doctor Number 9. Patterson Joseph, who plays Roderick, that smug guy who's playing The Weakest Link with Rose, and he puts in a generally decent performance, although it's a bit cliche. Arthur Cope, who plays the controller, I think it's a very creepy performance. Obviously she gets exterminated at the end, but yeah, it's a good little performance, very creepy. Fewings, who played the male programmer, I'm pretty sure they do give him a name, Davish Pavel, but he's credited as a male programmer. But he's a bit annoying, but I think he gets better next week. Who plays the female programmer, and she's alright. She's again a bit cliche, a bit one note, but yeah, she does as well get better next week. Nicholas Briggs, who is the voice of the Daleks. Now, he's not in it much, and he doesn't give us nothing special this week, but he's still pretty good, as always, as the voice of the Daleks. Score. Like I said, I reviewed this for the Big Blue Box podcast last time, and I gave it an 8 out of 10. I really enjoyed it this time as well. The direction was brilliant by Joe Ahern, as was the music by Murray Gold. Eccleston acted his socks off, and I really like how you get a feel that Eccleston's time has come. It's not focused on this. There are more things at stake. The game shows, while it does make the episode age badly, it's a really cool little concept that they've got with the killer game shows. Really nice idea. Obviously it is a brilliant setup for next week, making me re-watch Part of the Ways. A gem of a first part. I gave an 8 out of 10 when I reviewed this previous. Now I'm gonna give it 8.5 out of 10. Really enjoyed this one.
Blythe Droog.
What's it mean?
Bad wolf.
But I've heard that before. Bad wolf. I've heard that lots of times.
The things you've seen. The darkness. The big bad wolf.
Attention all personnel. Bad Wolf 1 descending.
Everywhere we go, 2 words, following us.
My masters, they fear the Doctor.
Tell me, who are they?
They were destroyed.
Obviously they survived.
We have your associate. You will obey or she will be exterminated.
Rose,
Yes, Doctor?
I'm coming to get you.
This is it, ladies and gentlemen. We are at war. There's an army about to invade this station.
TARDIS detected. In flight. Launch missiles. Exterminate.
You can't! The TARDIS hasn't got any defenses. You're gonna kill him!
You have predicted correctly.
How did you survive the Time War?
They survived through me.
I'm dead or about to die any second with no chance of escape.
Please like this video if you have enjoyed it, and if you want to see more content from my channel, then please hit subscribe. And goodbye. Hello, Karen Adams. So, the Pyramids of Mars. I've never seen this story before, so yeah. But before I get onto my review, I feel I must just pay tribute to the absolute legend that is Dudley Simpson, who music in this story is great, by the way. Rest in peace, Dudley. Yeah, I love the Fourth Doctor's costume in this one. Tom Baker and Liz Sladen's chemistry is brilliant. It has a very intriguing premise. I love the Fourth Doctor in this one. Tom Baker puts in a great performance. The mummies are quite creepy actually. Parts 1 and 2 though are boring and nothing happens, but the fourth is a thrilling extravaganza. Sutek looks fantastic and is a superb villain. Gabriel Wolfe puts in a brilliant performance, and the confrontation between the Doctor and Sutek is masterful. So, I've never seen this story before, and I have to say it was a disappointment. Everybody says it's a classic, one of the best Doctor Who stories ever, and I just didn't feel it. Parts 1 and 2 and 3 were really boring. Nothing happened. I struggled to hold my attention. And it's only to part 4 that something actually happens. Part 4 is amazing, but I just feel that it's not didn't hold my attention as a story. Sutek's brilliant in it though. I'm gonna give this story a 7.5 on the level of something like The Unquiet Death from the new series. See you guys next week. Out of 10. Last time, I'm gonna give it an 8.5 out of 10 this time. Really enjoyed it. See you next week. No.